Do you have difficulty with math? Worry no more, because I have a solution for you. Let's have math classes with Mamshi. See you in class! Welcome to our class on Pre-Calculus Week 6. We're going to discuss about problem solving on conic sections. Our objective is, at the end of this discussion, the students will be able to solve problems involving conic sections. So what are the different conic sections? Let's have a review first. We have here a circle. So a circle is formed when a cone is cut by a plane which is horizontally across the cone. So we have this first conic section, which is a circle. Notice the different parts that you have to consider when you have to solve for the problems. We have circle, radius, and diameter. And also, for the standard equations, we have, if the center is equal to 0, the equation is x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So this will be the standard equation of our circle. Then, if the center is at hk, then we have quantity x minus h squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared. That will be the standard form of its equation. And for its general equation, we have ax squared plus ay squared plus cx plus dy plus e equals 0. Take note that the coefficient of your x and the coefficient of x squared and the coefficient of y squared will always be equal for the general equation of the circle. Let's continue with the next conic section. It is a parabola. So when a plane is slanting and cuts a part of a cone, then we are forming a parabola. Then we have to focus on this: the vertex, the focus, directrix, the latus rectum, and the axis of symmetry. These are the different parts of the parabola which are important to be identified when we are solving for problems. And also, for the standard equation, if the vertex is 0 and it opens to the right, we have this y squared equals positive 4cx. Then, if it opens to the left, we have y squared equals negative 4cx. Then, if it opens outward, we have x upward, we have x squared equals 4cy. And if it opens downward, then the equation will be x squared equals negative 4cy. However, if the vertex is at hk, if the parabola opens to the right, then the equation is y minus k quantity squared equals 4c multiplied by quantity x minus h. If it opens to the left, then we have y minus k quantity squared equals negative 4c times quantity x minus h. And if it opens upward, then we have quantity x minus h squared equals 4c times quantity y minus k. And if a parabola opens downward, then we have quantity x minus h squared equals minus 4c times quantity y minus k. And for the general equation of our parabola is, we have by squared plus cx plus dy plus e equals 0 if the axis is parallel to x-axis. Okay? And next one, if the axis of symmetry rather is parallel to x-axis. Then, if we have ax squared plus cx plus dy plus e equals 0, then we have the parabola whose axis of symmetry is parallel to y-axis. Okay, so that's it. Let's continue with the next. We have ellipse. So please remember this one. We have the center, the foci, which is c equals square root of a squared minus b squared, the vertices, the major axis, and the minor axis. And for the general equation, we have x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared equals 1 if the major axis lies on x-axis. And if the major axis lies on y-axis, then we'll have x squared over b squared plus y squared over a squared equals 1. Or you can rewrite that as y squared over a squared plus x squared over b squared equals 1. This one is more convenient for me than having this kind of equation, but you can use either of them. Okay? Then if the center is at HK, then we have this x minus h quantity squared over a squared plus y minus k quantity squared over b squared equals 1 if the major axis is parallel to the x-axis. And if parallel to y-axis, then we have x minus h quantity squared over b squared plus y minus k quantity squared over a squared equals 1. And then the general formula will be this one, ax squared plus by squared plus cx plus dy plus e equals 0. This is the general formula. Take note that your A is not equal to B. Okay? Your A is not equal to B, but then they have the same signs. Okay? They have the same signs. And for the hyperbola, it's just like the equation of the ellipse, but we use subtraction sign on the left, between the two quantities. So for the ellipse, we use x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared. But then we have here x squared over a squared minus y squared over b squared equals 1. That if the center is equal to 0 and the transverse axis lies on the x-axis. But then, if the transverse axis lies on y-axis, then we can use y squared over a squared minus x squared over b squared equals 1. And then, if it's not on the center, we have x minus h quantity squared over a squared equals y minus k quantity squared over b squared equals 1 for the transverse axis, which is parallel to x-axis. And we have y minus k quantity squared over a squared plus x minus h quantity squared over b squared equals 1 if the transverse axis is parallel to the y-axis. And here are the parts of our parabola. We have center, foci, transverse axis, conjugate axis, and also the asymptotes. So the asymptotes will be y is equal to positive or negative b over ax, or it can also have y equals positive over negative a over bx. It depends on the equation that is given to you, or it depends on the position of your hyperbola. And here is the general equation. I think this is not correct. We have ax squared minus by squared plus cx plus dy plus e equals 0. Take note that it is already stated here that AB is less than 0. So it means that A and B have different signs. So I have expressed it here in different signs. And this general form is expressed on the same sign. But take note that your A and B must have different signs. Or you can write it that way, this way above. Okay. So that will be the general form of the equation of your hyperbola. Okay, so now, let's have the steps in problem solving. According to Polya, we have 4 steps. First is to understand the problem. So you really need to understand the problem and identify what is known. In our elementary, we are always asked what is asked in the problem. And also, you have to consider what are the data. So the data is the given on your problem. Number 2 is you have to devise a plan and you have to find the connection between the data and the unknown. So you have to identify what kind of solution are you going to use. And number 3, after finding the solution, you have to carry out the plan. So carry out your plan and carrying out your plan of the solution and check each step. Make sure that each step that you are doing is correct. And for the last one, we have to look back. This is the checking part. You have to examine if the solution you have obtained is correct. And also, you have to review your work according to what is unknown and what is the given data. And also, if you are connecting with the given and what is asked. So you really have to check whether your answer is correct or it satisfies what is asked from you. So those are the steps in problem solving. Always remember that. Let's have our problem number 1. A circle has a center at the focus of the parabola. Okay, take note that we have the given of parabola, which is y squared plus 16x plus 4y equals 44. This is the equation of our parabola, and it is tangent. When we say tangent, it means that it touches only one point on the circle, okay, to the directrix of this parabola. Find its standard equation. So take note, we have to find the directrix of the parabola, and also the given is this equation of the parabola. And lastly, the question is, what is the standard equation of the circle? Okay, so this one is the question that we have to answer. What is the standard form of the equation given that its center is at the focus of our parabola with this equation, and also it is tangent to the directrix? Okay, step 2 is we have to draw it so that we can understand what we are saying. So how can we draw that? Let's find first the center or the vertex of your parabola. So we can have, completing the squares, y squared plus 4y blank equals negative 16x plus 44. So take note that the third term here is the square of the half of your second term. So half of your second term is positive 2, then positive 2 times positive 2 is equal to 4. That's why we have 4 here, and we also have to add 4 there. So this one is y plus 2 quantity squared equals negative 16x plus 148. Okay, so we have there 16x plus 148. Then all we have to do is factor this out in order to identify what is the coordinate of x. So y plus 2 quantity squared equals negative 16 times x plus, so we have 148 divided by 16. Okay, 148 divided by 16 is, we have 8. 8 times 6, 48. Carry 4. 8 times 1. Sorry, it's not 144, but only 44. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's wrong. So we have 44 plus 4, that is 48. So 16, negative 16, then x minus 3. Okay, this will be our equation. Take note that your parabola is facing, which part is facing to the left, since we have negative 4c. And so the vertex of our parabola is found at positive 3, that is your x value, and negative 2. So take note that we have our x value that it's positive 3 and your y it's negative 2. So it's here. And it is facing to the left. Okay, to the left. And since the circle has the center at the focus of the parabola, let us find the focus of the parabola. And the focus of the parabola is 4c. So 4c equals negative 16. It's here. And so we have negative 4c equals negative 16. Divide both sides with negative 4. Then your c is equal to 4. It means that the focus of your parabola is 4 units from 3. So take note, this is positive 3, positive 2, positive 1, 0. So the focus will be here at negative 1. So your x will be negative 1 and your y will still be negative 2. This will be the focus of our circle. And also, it is tangent to the directrix of the parabola. So what will be the directrix? If we have 3 here and our c is 4, then our directrix will be 3 plus 4, which is 7. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7. This will be the 7, and this line will be tangent to your circle. So if you are going to draw that circle, it will be like this. Sorry, it looks like ellipse, but it's a circle. Okay, but the center is here, found at the focus of the parabola. So let's find the radius. The radius is 8 because the distance from here to here, from the focus to the vertex of our parabola is 4 units, and another one to the directrix is also 4 units. So therefore, we can say that for step 3, okay, for step 3, we can have our equation as the center of our circle is at negative 1, 2, which is the focus. So we have x plus 1 quantity squared plus y plus 2 quantity squared equals the radius, which is 8 squared. And so our final answer will be x plus 1 quantity squared plus y plus 2 quantity squared equals 64. That will be the standard equation of the circle. Okay, then for step 4, all you have to do is check whether it is correct or not. Okay, let's continue with problem number 2. A circle has the center at the vertex of the parabola. It is having an equation y squared minus 12x plus 6y equals 15 and is tangent to the directrix of this parabola. So find its standard equation. So another one, what is asked is, what is the standard equation? The center is at the vertex. And the circle is also tangent to the directrix. So next step is we have to devise a plan on what to do. So all we have to do is sketch a graph about this one and solve later on. So a circle has a center at the vertex of the parabola. Now let's find the vertex of this equation. We have y squared minus 12x plus 6y equals 15. So we have y squared plus 6y equals 12x plus 15. Then 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. So we have to add 9 here and add 9 on the right. Then factor that out. We can have y plus 3 quantity squared equals, okay, equals 12x plus 15 plus 9 is 24. So if we are going to factor that out, that's 12 times x plus 2. Now we can find the vertex of our parabola, and at the same time it is the center of our circle. The vertex will be at -2, -3. So it's here. -2, -1, -2, -3. This will be the vertex. Okay, since this is positive, it may face to the right. And also, if we are going to find the directrix, all we have to do is identify this one, the C. So 12 is 4C. And so, if we divide both sides by 4, C is equal to 3. Okay, from -2, we have to move back to find the directrix 3 units to the left. So it's 1, 2, 3. -4, and -3, -4, -5. This will be the directrix of our parabola. So the center of the circle is at the vertex. So same vertex. We get the center at x plus 2 quantity squared plus y plus 3 quantity squared equals radius. So how are we going to find the radius? If this is the center of the circle, of course, and if it is tangent to this line, which is the directrix, okay, it means that it is also 3 units from the center. So the radius will be 3 squared. So we have x plus 2 quantity squared plus y plus 3 quantity squared equals 9. This will be the equation of the circle, and that answers our question on step 1. All you have to do is check that whether it is correct or not. For those who are new to my channel, just subscribe to my channel, click subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be updated of my latest videos. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned a lot from me.